Yon di chimbo tso denying mi kya, zondi molam chimbo ngab jata, bakar darngan san du ikirma do, tumba tuk je chan la kyu kya, tsar, shawam chu je yang ji pabran la, desam san ji gan jing o nye, rang sam chur kong on sam tom ze, tsawe lama nam la ngu kya, tsar. Good morning. Thank you for coming. First of all, I thought this morning, so far I gave you many different teachings and different instructions, different kind of methods for your practice meditation from my root teachers, also my own experience, right? These years. But it is not easy to meditate all of them, even though these instructions are not difficult, but for example, like individually, can't practice all of them. So it's important you have to make a distinction between them and then putting them into your practice, right? That's what we have to do. So I don't know. So I have a few questions for you, and I would like to know that what kind of meditation and practice really helpful in your life. And also you really enjoy to meditate with every single day. Can you tell me only sort of one meditation that you really like? And think about all the teachings, the basic actually. I haven't teach all of you Buddhist philosophy yet, but we had lots of basic Buddhist teachings so far. So, and we had lots of different meditations. So what kind of meditation do you really like? And it's not you like, but it's really helpful in your life when you have a difficult situation or, also your mind, like negative thoughts, negative emotions. Yeah? Tonglen?
Gets me back.
Good. What else? Bodhisattva? Chanting helps too? Okay. What else? Mm-hmm. Visualizations. Sometimes we have a difficult situation. The relationship, right, with your family or work, business, all of this samsaric sort of activities. Very difficult sometimes. So then meditation is really helpful if you meditate regularly, every single day. That's good, preliminary is very, very helpful. That's good. You should think about it. You actually received lots of teachings, and you have to sort of, find really good one. Otherwise, you meditate this and that, and you just, eventually you get nothing. You change all the time. It's not so good. It's very helpful. You hear and receive different sort of meditations and methods, because then you have sort of, opportunity to, and understand, all of these different meditations. You should think about that in the future and meditate on. Very important every single day. And second question is, you don't have really sort of time to practice because you have to go to work every day. After work, you're sort of, very tired, come back home from your work, and you have no energy for meditation. Sometimes you have time, but then you have to do things like your personal activities, your family's activity, etc. So I think you don't sort of practice a lot, even though you know that consistent practice is very important, right? But you don't really practice a lot compared to, the meditators in Tibet. Like myself, when I was in Tibet, every day, many, many hours practice, because I have nothing else, right? That's my job. But you don't have that kind of, what do you call it, opportunity, or I don't know, but this is good, but so you don't have lots of time to practice. So we have to think also, what is the best. So we practice like very short, most of you people practice maybe like 30 minutes, maybe 1 hour. Some people practice 2 hours every day. That's very kind of long practice, right? So within that kind of short time, we have to think what is the best method, what is the sort of best way to practice in order to become a stronger sort of practitioner, we have to use the best way and good method, and also doing all of these sort of worldly activities. Do you know? Did you think about it? We have our sometimes we think about our life life is very short, though, even though we have young people here, but still short. And also we have lots of obstacles in our life, so we never know the life end anytime. We never know. So we have a short life, but we have very important to enjoy our life. Very important. So what kind of method we should use within short time? Yeah.
Your teachings on Lojong, when you taught us mindfulness training,
Mm-hmm.
just bring basic mindfulness to know where our mind is at when we're doing things. And you talked about that also at the evening retreat too, of being able to really, when you brush your teeth, brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth. Yep. Mindfulness. Mhm. Yeah, we should think about those things, because we don't have. I mean, if you have time, then of course you can try, and eventually you can develop your meditation. But we don't have lots of time. We have to do so many things, So we should really use the best. I mean, um, I think the best sort of instruction, maybe. I mean, this is for me, maybe not you, but for me, is when I think about like the best way, best method, and turn my mind to practice is, think about the four thoughts that change the mind. It's really, for example, like to think about how difficult to find the precious human life, and also we are very fortunate enough to have this precious human life. We have to recognize, we have to understand that. It's very important. We're very, very fortunate to have this amazing, life, and very intelligent people, and we have chance to practice. So important, If you think about the world, many people don't have sort of, chance to practice, and I mean, many people have sort of negative karma, negative thoughts, only harm others every single day, accumulate bad karma and non-virtuous every single day, not enjoy. So we have precious human life. And then also, the second, like this life, we have a precious human life. We have very fortunate, but this life is impermanent, It ends any time, Some people get sick, some people, obstacles, and then this is we call impermanence. That's kind of characteristic of our life. We cannot change that. We have to accept that. And also the karma, cause and karma, is definitely true, whether or not you believe it, you know. So we should really think about like that. I mean, if you think about these four thoughts that change mind, it's also a part of preliminary, part of mind training. Not necessarily become a Buddhist to practice these four thoughts, It's kind of basic teaching, and sort of fundamental, and help you sort of, turn your mind to practice. So that's why I think these methods are very unique and very much helpful. So we should try not sort of attached to the pleasures of mundane world, which is really people want. We call it, what do you call it? Eight worldly concerns, phenomena. People like become a famous, wealthy, all of that kind of things, right? Have lots of things. I mean, that's so. If you think about four thoughts, these meditations, we can learn so many good things and very helpful things from these teachings and meditations, that change your mind, can diminish your negative thoughts and, change sort of our negative thoughts into positive and happy life. I practice and studied these four thoughts since I was like seven years old. Still, I'm learning from these four thoughts, meditations. Whenever I meditate, I get something new, Wow, it's really helpful, So I think this is very very sort of unique and kind of essence of Buddhist teachings and practice. Not only Buddhist, it's they're talking about sort of, basic, for human beings like us. We all hear that nobody wants suffering. Everybody wants happiness. But happiness really doesn't come automatically into our life. So we have to accumulate and understand the cause of genuine happiness. Otherwise, we are run away from happiness. So therefore, I think this teaching is so amazing. Sometimes people, that's my sort of own experience, I learned in so many useful and helpful things from these teachings, And another important to understand is that if we say that we should not attach to things of this life, sometimes people think that, you hear this kind of teachings many times from the four thoughts that change your mind and from other teachings and different traditions, and actually in Buddhism, not attached to this life. And sometimes people think that that means it is impossible to develop. For example, if you attach to this life, and people think impossible to develop four thoughts in our mind unless we give up all these sort of samsaric works whatsoever and engage our body, speech, and our mind in practice only. People think that, but I think, that is a little bit misunderstanding because, sometimes we must practice a mixture, like dharma and worldly work. That's what I'm saying, actually. I'm trying to say is today is like, you go to work every day. Lots of, spend lots of time there. And then your practice is very short, right? So we can't give up, we can't give up some sort of work, So we have to sort of practice and work these things together, every day. Because according to Buddhism, the Dharma, your teaching, the practice is for the, direct and indirect benefit and happiness of ourselves, happiness for others, So we have to practice Dharma with our sort of worldly activities. That's you have to also learn it. When you work, according to Buddhism, some of these meditations and practice you can together when you work. For example, when I drink this cup of tea, I can meditate with, when I drink. So it's so important, we should not think that totally different times. Oh, this is my work. this is my business time. And then I'm not practice at that time. That's wrong. We have to sort of try to mix, you should practice. I mean, also like these things, mindfulness and calm your mind, be patient, tolerant, compassionate, all of these things we can mix with our work, with our practice. So therefore, if you say, oh, if I meditate, then I have to give up my samsaric activities and work. That's very much misunderstand and kind of wrong, So you should think about this 80 Mahasiddhas, which means like, 80 great masters from India a long time ago. They're completely sort of become a Buddha and Bodhisattvas, but they still involved with their sort of work, kind of, business, all of that. They can do that, but you don't need to lose your practice when you meditate if you really practice well, So that you can, if you practice, with your work, and you can also help, very much help in your life. You can accept, if you do this kind of practice, you can accept whatever the situation, good or bad, you can accept very easily, So we have to practice meditation with our sort of worldly activities. And for example, in the teachings of four thoughts that change mind, talk about if you attached to this life, then you cannot develop your mind and diminish your negative thoughts. You remember, right? In the teachings, it says that. It means that if you attach to the pleasure of this life alone, then you are not Dharma practitioner. Do you understand that? Alone. Then you cannot diminish your negative thoughts because you are not Dharma practitioner. You attached, your attachment. So it is important to keep liberation as our sort of main goal and principle, and to not become attached to this life alone. Because we really need sort of spiritual path. Generally, we have two different groups, for example, because sometimes people take in sort of two sides of sort of extremes. You understand? Like one group, and some people think that there is no need to practice meditation and no need spiritual path, because people will say if they have a great job, then they think that they're successful people, because then they have for example, lots of money, and that is the cause of their happiness. I'm sure these young people will think that, oh, I have lots of millions of dollars, no practice, I will be happy. I can do everything. I can have everything. And I am a very successful person. I have a great job. That's your sort of, basic idea. And then some people think, better. If I have lots of money, I can help others more. So, these kind of people and group, they really think that no need spiritual path at all, which means like no need practice meditations. I know that. Lots of people say that. Yeah, I don't believe these kind of things. Some people also say the religion or this spiritual path is kind of poison. They make you suffering, uncomfortable. But I think that is really big mistake. We need spiritual path. Doesn't matter what kind of spiritual path you will take. It's fine. Not necessarily only Buddhist. We have great, religions and spiritual paths. You can choose one. Very suitable. Something is very suitable for you. You can choose it. No need Buddhist only. But if you think no need spiritual path at all, that is, I think, big misunderstanding. Because whatever we do, the basic our intention, our motivation is wrong. We always do things for ourselves, for happiness, and in order to find that happiness, we harm others directly or indirectly. So if you check your intention, your motivation, you will understand, you will see it. Oh yeah, my motivation is wrong. Because our intention are based on our ego and our selfish mind. As long as we have selfish mind, it's not correct way to find the genuine happiness. So Dharma, the spiritual instructions can change our incorrect intentions. Only if you want change your intention, you need spiritual path. That's the only way. Because spiritual is like the Dharma and teachings. It's like a mirror, a reflection of ourselves appear, right? Then we can become aware of our own mistakes, and we can make our mistakes correct through the Dharma practice and through the teachings. We can develop our wisdom through the teachings, through our meditations. So, meditation in practice make it possible to cultivate and develop certain sort of basic positive human qualities. You know that, right? We have amazing qualities. But if you don't practice, don't take spiritual path, you will never, we will never develop this human, positive qualities like compassion, love and kindness, mindfulness, our wisdoms, all of that in order to develop, we have to meditate, we have to practice. So that is like, one group, they think, for example, oh, I don't need spiritual path at all. I want just a good job. Then I will be fine. Wrong, very much wrong, because we know that I can't say it's wrong. I can't, say right and wrong. I can't, but we can see people who are very wealthy and all over the world, very suffering. What's wrong then? We have to, that many people, actually investigate. Most of the wealthy people are not actually Dharma practitioners. You know that? No, they think, I don't need anything. I have everything. But their mind is always unsatisfied, always unhappy, worry, stress. That's why, one group think that spiritual and dharma is kind of poison, and I don't want to eat the poison. It will kill me. So I don't want, right? And then, another group, and some people think, oh, that I need the practice. I don't want and I don't need sort of this uh, no essence, these worldly activities at all. So I can give up everything, because the samsaric work is no essence, So many people think that too. You come here. I mean, I'm not talking to you, but you receive some basic teachings and about the world is, see this everywhere, suffering is everywhere. People, the situation is kind of getting worse and worse. Then you think only practice make me happy, so I want that. So that's what we call in Tibet. We call like Ngimjong Pus means like the moment, sort of the moment renunciation, the the unstable renunciation, we call it. It means like short period of time. They understand the essence of renunciation. Oh yeah, practice is very important. So they think that they can give up everything. But that's the not correct way to practice, because it is not genuine renunciation, because it's not stable, so that they will change their mind later, right? That happened in Tibet sometime. I know that some monks, they say, oh, I go to like solitary, I go to retreat, just by myself, no need everything. And then they go there like maybe 1 month, okay, and then come back. They say like, whole my life I thought that one time too, I want, all my teacher, very, he mad at me, I said, I want just meditate only all my whole my life. That's wrong. That's what we call it, like moment, what do you call it, renunciation, very short, because your mind is not stable. That means like you just think about only today, not think about tomorrow, what will happen tomorrow. Sometimes, if you eat good food and then you're full, okay, I don't want to eat anything now, I'm fine. But when you get angry, you need food. Same thing, you have problems, then you can't handle that, you can't accept, right? If you have nothing, only you practice. I mean, great practitioners like Milarepa, of course, they can handle they can accept everything, good or bad, no problem. Actually, for them, Milarepa's point of view, it doesn't matter, good or bad. He can accept everything. It's just same. But we can't, because we are very much beginner. So we have, for example, we have difficult situation we cannot handle easily. So that's why, don't give up everything if you practice. If you want to practice, it's important. That's why I'm saying it's important to not fall into sort of these two extremes, One thing, oh, I want only meditate. One thing, no meditation at all. Both, I think, kind of wrong, So we need a sort of good balance, because samsaric work and pleasure, it cannot give us the genuine happiness, because as we continually attach to samsaric pleasures, our desires is increased, right? The more sort of wealth we possess, the more desires expands, and never satisfied. And it's create even more obstacles, so, difficult. Then we need practice. And only, practice the Dharma, it will be very difficult, it will be very hard, very challenged, without anything, So eventually the problem is it's possible to give up our practice. I can't practice, So I think this kind of, is something important for us to think about, because we have a good life and we have to sort of, and we have a good and bad situations in our life. That's kind of, character of the samsara. So we cannot escape that, So we have to accept both good and bad situation in our life. So therefore, very, very important to practice, And another important thing is, do not be satisfied with your practice, because it is possible when you have some kind of experience or little bit realization, and then, then you think, oh, very good, this is just enough, I understand emptiness, no nose, no tongues, no bodies, no mind, no nothing. So this is enough. So just further sort of diligence and practice are not really necessary. I have the experience. I have these realizations. Okay, so that is big mistaken again. The great Tibetan masters say that it's like you trying to wrap two pieces of wood together to make a fire, And when they start to smoke, right, then you are thinking, oh, this is enough. Then you stop it, right? The smoke is an indication that if you keep on rubbing, and then you will get a fire. But smoke itself is not a fire. You are looking for fire, right? So that's why smoke, itself is not enough. You have to do it continually, right? Likewise, the indications of successful practice that you experience are not indications that you have no need to practice further. They're good indications that if you practice even more diligently, you will get some really good results. Your experience are not the result. You need to know that. So therefore, the experience itself is not enough. I'm sure when you meditate, when you practice, you get lots of experience, good experience, not good experience, so many experience, right? Bliss, clear, luminous, all of this kind of amazing experience, but experience is not result of your meditation. So therefore, experience itself is not enough. So therefore, the point is that if you practice, you have to keep on practicing. You cannot stop your practice. Otherwise, if you stop your practice, the benefit of you have received from the practice and the indications of a successful practice and the change in your sort of personality that are the benefit of practice will sort of diminish and and slowly sort of decrease if you stop your practice. It's almost impossible, but it's also possible. Sometimes good practitioners, they have sort of, when they practice, then they get more sort of confidence in their meditation. Oh, this is amazing. I want practice continue. Most practitioners, they have the confidence, but some practitioners, they think, okay, this is enough. This is, I'm kind of somewhere, become a bodhisattva or somewhere. So I think this is just fine. Okay, any questions?
I'm going to ask you again. I've asked you this before. But someday, please teach us. You talked to me one time about how meditators who meditate a lot know where they're at because of the experiences that they're having. And you told that in context of the 10 movies. So I'm going to ask you again. Someday, teach us about the 10 movies and teach us to understand the signs of those accomplishments of those different levels.
Actually, teaching about the 10 Burmese, 10 parts, whatever, it's actually better not teaching. Better not teach, then better you should experience, When you meditate and then your mind, everything, the relationship between your mind and the outside, the world, is getting better and better and better, right? So then you have that experience, and the more you meditate, you get more experience. The more experience, then you will sort of be very, very much, capable, and you have capacity to do so many wonderful things. But yeah, that's nice. So,
Khenpo,
yep.
if you only really had time to study the philosophies of Buddhism, the emptiness, things that many of us also like to look at and study, or we could meditate, we only had the ability to do one of these two things, which would you encourage us to do?
Oh yeah, meditation, for sure. Buddhist philosophy is very profound and very detailed. It gives you, and it's very helpful if you practice Buddhist philosophy, kind of you develop your wisdom, and then also everything, like especially like the essence of Buddha's teaching is the interdependent origination. So it is actually, if you practice, study about the emptiness and all different the schools, the views, and all of this help that you understand more the cause and karma, how things appear, what is the relationship between our mind and the object and subject. All of this help. Definitely, Buddhist philosophy is very profound. But I would say meditation is more important for us because understand only sort of intellectual understand, it's not so much helpful. So therefore, we have to meditate in order to develop our mind. Not only our mind, the healthy body, the relationship, our mind and body, all of that. I think meditation, definitely, no hesitation. I will say meditation. Now we should, for the meditation, we should meditate a few minutes, and there are some instructions that I would like to tell you. Today, I would like you to practice on the 3 channels because we haven't done this practice for a while, So, but I think some people are very new for this practice. So I will explain a little bit first so that you will understand how to meditate on it. So 3 channels, according to the inner teachings of the Vajrayana, our body has so many sort of subtle channels. But there are 3 sort of principles, 3 main channels. And the most important is we call it central channel, which is known as the Awadati in Sanskrit, which means like middle and central channel. The central channel, be careful, listen, and keep your mind. This is you need to meditate today. Not only for today, if you want to keep this sort of instruction, you can meditate on 3 channels whenever you have time. So the central channel we have, so I'm not going to talk about the other channels. So the 3 channels, that's what we call main channels. This is kind of energetic, like channels, not physically, So the central channel starts 4 fingers below the navel and goes straight up to the top of your head. So this is, you have to visualize, okay? And on the right side of the central channel, there is another channel. It goes up to the head and comes down, sort of like, to your right nostril, like that. And then the left side channel, also like exactly same as the right channel, goes up and then circle and goes down on your nostrils. So that's, we have 3 channels: the central channel, right, and then right and left channels. The 3 channels, and we also have 4 chakras, in our body, according to Vajrayana practice. So these are the, according to Vajrayana teaching, chakras and channels are the basic sort of ground of the body. And they are the sort of main condition for all of our experience, according to the Vajrayana tradition. Because when our channels are perfectly balanced, the wind energy become more gentle, and we have sort of less negative thoughts. So the wind energy is an important element of the body, because it communicates with between the outside and the inside the body. So the wind energy and the mind travel together, the channel. So the channels are like a path, like a road, And if the wind energy is sort of unbalanced, the mind is not stable, and we have more thoughts, So that's why I think, according to Vajrayana teaching, meditation, meditate on 3 channels and 4 chakras, all of this very important for our mind and our body. So the goal of meditation, you know, right? The practice is to bring everything into the natural state. That's the main point. But in order to do this, it's important to know how, according to Vajrayana teaching, how the channels and wind energies control the body and our mind. So there are many Vajrayana practice are, you know, the teachings and meditations are very much connected with the channels and the wind energies, because through the sort of controlling our wind energies and how we think, and if you practice, meditate on this again and again, over again, eventually sort of, you know, our minds and our bodies, like our minds more stable, less negative thoughts, and more sort of compassionate and be tolerant, more calm, you know, peaceful. It's like our mind. And then our body also, you know, become younger, very much healthier. So I think it's important. This meditation is not just like, you know, history. You know, it people done, you know, this kind of meditation and they got the results. So we have a proof, you know. So if you meditate, your mind more stable, your body become younger. That would be nice, huh? And you know, um, uh, turn your white hair into black. Uh, you know, uh, uh, grow, and you know you will your. Okay, so when we meditate, basically, you know, the Vajrayana tradition teaches the importance of four sort of stages of straightness. When the body sort of become straight, like this, for the beginner, very important your body position when you meditate. Um, so your body is kind of more straight, and then your channels become straight in your body. When the channels become straight, then the wind energy becomes very balanced, you know. And when the element, the energy become balanced, then the mind become very relaxed and stable, and you know, less thoughts, and you know, very peaceful. So therefore, when you meditate, it is always important, try to keep your body and mind balanced. And in order to do that, when you are going to meditate, you should make sure that your body is comfortable position, you know. And very important, sort of continue to breathe very normally, you know, without changing the way you usually breathe, you know. There's no need to change, and there's no sort of different way to breathe when you meditate. Just very normally, you know, but make sure it's very sort of gently and, you know, comfortably, you know. And once your body, your channels, your wind are sort of balanced, then try to keep your mind and the nature sort of state through the meditation. That's is in general, because many of you know this basic sort of and the foundation of your meditation, but maybe some are new. So I think just very important. I mean, I'm very happy, and uh, that you think um, I want to come here to meditate. I mean, that's a great idea. It's very important in your life. Meditation is part of our life. So I just give you the general and basic and the foundation of your meditation. That's just very general. Many of you know that, but maybe some of you don't know. So now the meditation, okay? First, your body and your back, right? It's a kind of straight and comfortably, and also your arms are sort of resting, comfortably, like, you can put on your knees like this. There are some other positions, but I don't, it's not necessarily today. So these two are very important, just to relax your body first, and then make sure it's straight, and then your shoulders, your arms, very relaxed and comfortable. And then you visualize, okay? You visualize the three channels in your body. Just I explained you. The central channel, remember? The central channel starts 4 fingers below the navel and goes sort of straight up to the top of your head, actually kind of sort of, the center of your body. And then the left and right channel start at your nostrils, right? And sort of circle around the top of your eyes. And then down sort of center of your body until they reach the bottom of the torso. At this point, the left and right channel merge into the central channel, and the central channel, the move towards all the way top of your head. Understand? That's very basic, sort of, you have to visualize the 3 channels in your body. That's your visualizations. Once you visualize these 3 channels in your body, then you start by breathing and gently, right? You have visualized 3 channels, and the right and left channel from your nostrils. So when you breathe in, very gently, visualize your breath moving into the channel, left and right channels, and then merge into the central channel, your breath. Kind of you visualize, and sometimes you feel, you experience actually in your body. So it goes into the central channel, because the bottom, the 2 channels are merged into the central channel. So your breath goes into the central channel, right? I mean, when I explain this kind of long, right? But when you visualize this very quick, you can do this. And then the breath actually moves up your heart center. Then you breathe out. Understand? Breathe out. And if you want and if you can, at this point, you should look sort of directly into your mind, your thoughts actually, instead focus on your breath. if you want, if you can. Then you will experience, if you do this, you will experience there is a sort of empty space and peacefulness and relaxation. So you should let your thoughts and your breath sort of dissolve into sort of that space, and then continue focus on that space as long as you can, because you will experience sort of inner peacefulness and inner calmness at this time if you do this. And then continue sort of breathe in circle again and sort of repeat this direction if it is necessary. If you're a beginner, I'm sure when you do this, your thoughts, blah, 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 arise all the time. If you're not beginners, then once you meditate that and go deep into your mind, and then you will experience the peacefulness, and you just meditate on that forever. Okay, we have 5 minutes. Meditate.